The Voice Season 22. The best of Team Blake's blind auditions. So far, we are officially 2 weeks into Season 22 of NBC's beloved competition series, The Voice, and all 4 coaches are slowly working on putting their teams together. This season, Blake Shelton and John Legend are back, joined by Gwen Stefani and first-time coach Camila Cabello. Everyone is fighting over all of the best talent as usual. But as expected, Team Blake is snagging nearly all of the best country performances. Odds are, if you're a country singer coming onto The Voice, you probably have your sights set on joining Team Blake. His 8-time winning streak doesn't hurt his cause either, but learning country from a star of his caliber really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity regardless of how far you make it on the series. Though a couple of strong performers ended up on other teams, here are some of the best blind auditions so far to end up with spots on Team Blake. Married couple Catalin and Derek Dries, known professionally as the country duo The Dries, quickly gained the attention of both Shelton and his wife Gwen Stefani with their cover of Islands in the Stream. The couple has resided in Nashville since 2014 and have been recording and performing music together for years. Naturally, Team Blake was a perfect fit despite Stefani's efforts to convince them otherwise. Conway Twitty's 1988 classic, Goodbye Time, was a solid old-school choice, but Bryce Leatherwood chose Blake Shelton's rendition, which he brought back to the country charts in 2005. Leatherwood earned a 3-chair turn from Shelton, Stefani, and even John Legend, but felt his place was on Team Blake. Kate Kalvak wowed the judges with her rendition of Casey Musgrave's stunning golden hour track, Rainbow. It was Shelton versus Stefani versus Camila Cabello. Ultimately, it was Kalvak and Shelton's shared Oklahoma roots that sweetened the deal enough for her to go with the country star, despite Cabello and Stefani's best efforts to convince her otherwise. Blake Shelton may have been the only coach to turn for Tanner Fussel's rock-infused version of Travis Tritt's Anymore, but that's really because there was no better coach for him. The other coaches, like Cabello, admitted they were impressed by his voice and yodeling moments during the song, which was a choice that Shelton said allowed his vocals to really shine. Kevin Hawkins may not be a country singer, but his rendition of the classic Stevie Wonder song Isn't She Lovely was a show-stopping 4-chair turn. Luckily for Shelton, Stefani used her block of the season on John Legend, who desperately wanted the piano teacher on his team. But Hawkins really shocked everyone by deciding to go with Team Blake. Maybe his unbeatable winning streak had something to do with it. 15-year-old Braden Lape taught himself to sing and play the guitar, but it was his countrified version of Niall Horan's This Town that earned a chair turn from Blake Shelton. Cabello actually pushed Shelton to turn for the young singer, noting that he sounded very country/pop, which could be a good fit. Stefani immediately regretted not turning her chair after seeing Lape in person, but was excited that he'd have the opportunity to work with Shelton. Country version of Bob Dylan? Yes, please. Madison Hughes gave an incredibly impressive performance of the classic song Knockin' on Heaven's Door, which put Shelton and Stefani up against each other yet again on night 3 of the blind auditions. The 25-year-old from Ponte Vedra Beach, FLA, was ultimately given the choice between Shelton, Stefani, and Cabello, but chose the country path with Shelton, who loved the twang in her voice. Season 22 of The Voice has been full of surprises, and as always, the blind auditions continue to be the highlight of the show. Blake Shelton, who has been a coach on the show since its inception, has once again assembled a team full of talent, charisma, and potential. His reputation as one of the most successful coaches in The Voice history continues to attract top-tier singers, and this season has been no different. While all of the teams have impressive contestants, Blake's knack for picking unique and powerful voices stands out. Let's take a look at some of the standout blind auditions for Team Blake this season. These are the performances that not only wowed the judges, but also made a lasting impression on audiences everywhere. 1. Emma Brooks, Creep by Radiohead. Emma Brooks kicked off her audition with a haunting and unique rendition of Radiohead's Creep. The song, known for its raw emotion and vulnerability, was the perfect choice for Emma's powerhouse vocals. As soon as she started singing, it was clear that this was not going to be an ordinary audition. Her voice had both a haunting, ethereal quality and a powerful, gritty edge, which captivated the coaches. Blake turned his chair within the first few notes, recognizing the potential in her dynamic vocal range and emotional delivery. Although other coaches also tried to convince Emma to join their teams, Blake's pitch resonated with her the most. His experience working with diverse artists made him the ideal coach to help hone Emma's unique style and unleash her full potential. 2. Austin Montgomery, It's a Man's World by James Brown. It's always a risk to take on a classic like James Brown's It's a Man's World, but Austin Montgomery made it his own with a modern twist. His gravelly, soulful voice breathed new life into the song, leaving the audience and the coaches stunned. Blake Shelton, who is always on the lookout for distinctive voices, hit his button halfway through the performance, drawn by Austin's powerful delivery and natural charisma. Austin's performance was a perfect mix of old-school soul and contemporary flair, and Blake's instincts were spot on when he recognized the young singer's potential. With some guidance, Austin could easily become one of the most versatile singers on the team. 3. Kenzie Woods, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Few singers are brave enough to tackle a Whitney Houston song, especially one as iconic as I Will Always Love You. Kenzie Woods, however, proved that she was up to the challenge. From the first note, it was clear that Kenzie had the vocal chops to handle one of the most technically demanding songs ever written. Her tone was rich and controlled, and as she effortlessly hit the song's high notes, the coaches were visibly impressed. Blake, always on the lookout for vocalists with big voices, turned around in record time. His confidence in coaching powerful vocalists who can deliver emotional performances made him the perfect fit for Kenzie. The performance not only showcased her raw talent, but also hinted at her potential to grow into a powerhouse artist under Blake's guidance. 4. Wyatt Andrews' Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. Country music is Blake Shelton's bread and butter, and Wyatt Andrews' rendition of Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash was tailor-made for him. Wyatt brought a fresh, modern take to the song while still preserving the classic country feel, and it was clear from his first note that he was destined for Team Blake. Blake's love for classic country songs and his knowledge of the genre's roots made him an obvious choice for Wyatt, and it didn't take long for him to press his button. Wyatt's deep, rich voice combined with his natural country twang made him a standout during the blind auditions, and there's no doubt that Blake will be able to shape him into a true country star. 5. Samantha Grayson, Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. Samantha Grayson's performance of Tennessee Whiskey brought a soulful, bluesy vibe to the stage that captivated both the audience and the coaches. The song, made famous by Chris Stapleton, requires a perfect blend of emotion, soul, and technique, and Samantha delivered on all fronts. Blake was immediately drawn to Samantha's effortless transitions between the song's soft, smooth moments and its more powerful, belted notes. Her performance had just the right amount of grit and tenderness, qualities that Blake recognized as essential for someone who wants to make it in country music. With her impressive range and versatility, Samantha quickly became a frontrunner for Team Blake. 6. Jake Simmons, The Dance by Garth Brooks. Jake Simmons brought a classic country vibe to the voice stage with his performance of The Dance by Garth Brooks. His authentic, heartfelt delivery of the song struck a chord with Blake, who has always appreciated singers who bring true emotion to their performances. Jake's voice was smooth and soothing, and his ability to connect with the song on an emotional level set him apart from the competition.